Hi guys, this is Sajid Khan and you're watching me on BollywoodHungama.
Well, after a lot of persuasion and a lot of wait, we finally have with us the man who gives the best answers in Bollywood, Sajid Khan, back with us on BollywoodHungama. Sajid, huge pleasure to have you back on BollywoodHungama.
First of all, I'm very worried when you said lot of weight because that's exactly what I put on. Last interview which we did, I think we did in 2014 फरीदून.
Right.
अच्छा फरीदून और मेरे जो इंटरव्यूज होते हैं वो हमेशा बहुत मज़ेदार होते हैं क्योंकि फरीदून मेरे हिसाब से लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने बोला था फिर एक बार बोलूँगा पीपल लाइक यू अ लॉट बिकॉज यू आस्क द राइट क्वेश्चंस you ask the right questions, you touch the right topics, you're very well informed, you do your homework very well, and basically you have a love for Bollywood just like I have a love for Bollywood.
Right.
But you also know the person that you're talking to. You do your homework and research on them very well. Hence the interviews with you always come out very well. And you have become a star celebrity in your own right. I was going through his account on Twitter. A lot of people following him. The people who are following me are dukan walas, because I have owe them udhar.
Thank you very much, Sajid. It's been a long time. I think the best part as far as what you've been doing is, I think, has been your columns, as I've been telling you constantly.
Yes,
The
for
sort
DNA.
Of, the sort of
I write
sense
for,
of humor.
Yes.
Yeah, that column that you recently wrote about your driver, the fictitious driver, and all that. I think it was really funny, in fact. You're enjoying it?
एक घंटे में लिख देता हूँ मैं वेडनेसडे को छपता है तो मैं ट्यूसडे मॉर्निंग या ट्यूसडे आफ्टरनून को लिख देता हूँ वो डीएनए से एक लड़का आता है वो बेचारा लैपटॉप पे लिखते जाता है मैं बोलते जाता हूँ उसके बाद उसको मैं प्रिसाइज करता हूँ और आई सेंड इट अक्रॉस आई डोंट नो what I'm going to write next.
Right.
Something funny that happens, something funny that weird that happens, something. I try to stay away from topical things. Like you'll enjoy this week's column because everybody will expect that it's about Independence Day. But I've spoken about 40 years of Sholay.
Correct.
And the headline of the column is Sholay the greatest film of Indian cinema? That's what I'm asking you. You tell me.
Depends. I think that there have been many movies.
Which is the greatest film of Indian cinema, according to you?
Which is the greatest film? Sholay is one film that, in fact, I still remember. At that point of time, cassettes uske aate the dialogues ke. So I remembered all the dialogues.
Arey Baba,
so you can say Sholay.
Sholay.
You can say.
No, according to you.
I think it's Sholay.
For me also.
Yeah.
But there are lots of viewers out there who will say DDLJ,
Right.
who will say Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, who will say Three Idiots, who will say Gadar, who will say Bajrangi Bhaijaan, who will say PK. There are lots of Mother India. I've forgotten many names, Kagaz Ke Phool. But I think, according to me, Sholay, and I've given out reasons why. So it's not a very funny column. But it's quite entertaining in the sense it's very informative.
Considering that when it released for the first two weeks, it
15th
was
August 1975.
Yeah, for the first 2 weeks it was
a disaster flop.
It was a disaster, and they were considering just reshooting the climax scene.
No, the only people who were यार हम ऐसा लग रहा है हम सिप्पी फिल्म्स के पेरोल पे तौर में the only people who were confident were Salim Javed and Ramesh Sippy.
Correct.
These three were the only ones who were confident कि ये पिक्चर फ्लॉप हो ही नहीं सकती. Wait.
Right.
Everybody else had written off the film, including a couple of very big filmmakers who said कि ये फिल्म चल ही नहीं सकती क्योंकि इसमें most important angle नहीं है 70s का. माँ इस फिल्म में माँ नहीं है.
Right.
और इस फिल्म में टाइटल सॉन्ग नहीं है शोले का तो कैसे चलेगी?
Right.
But then, when God writes it, no one can stop it. It's written on the page, it's written on the page. Sholay was destined, according to me, to be the greatest Hindi film of all time.
You've always said that cinema has been your biggest school. Whatever you've learnt in life has been through cinema. And the fact is that the sort of childhood that you've had, and you guys have had difficult childhood, and many times you did not have money to pay basic bills as well.
No electricity bill. We used to sit and eat in the darkness. रात को candle जलाते थे ये बोल के कि we are rich because हम candlelight dinner हर दिन खाते हैं. Seriously. Yeah, of course. But life goes on. I think 90% of the people, not just in Bollywood, but I think in almost every field of their lives in which if they are partly successful also, I'm sure they all have stories to tell of how they've come up. Basic example देता हूँ मैं. Even when you are a student and you come distinction marks के साथ, you come first in your university or you come first in your school or you come first in your college. I'm sure उसके पीछे भी एक कहानी है वो लड़के के पीछे कि कैसे पढ़ाई की उसने, कैसे लैंप पोस्ट के नीचे बैठ के पढ़ा होगा या कैसे उसने किताबें किसी और से चोरी की थी या किसी से भीख मांग के किताबें ली थी पढ़ने को. So there are many stories. I'm sure you also must be having your own stories. I'm sure lots of people have their own stories. One has to learn from those stories,
right,
and one has to decide as to what is it that you want to achieve in life. I never wanted to achieve success. Believe me when I'm saying this. I wanted to achieve recognition, which came with success. Films were getting successful as a filmmaker. recognition was not coming my way. Are you understanding? Because that host and those tag and that, अरे ये तो बॉलीवुड का मजाक उड़ाता है. Are you understanding? ये तो न्यूसेंस है यार. इसकी पिक्चर कैसे हिट हो गई यार? दूसरी पिक्चर भी हिट हो गई, तीसरी पिक्चर भी हिट हो गई. वो recognition एज अ फिल्म मेकर नहीं मिल रहा था मेरे को. फरीदुन यार रिस्पेक्ट मी यार, मेरी पिक्चरें हिट हुई है. मैं साइड में नहीं खड़ा रहूँगा, मेरे को सेंटर में खड़ा करो. I was a little foolhardy in my head. I think Himmatwala and Humshakals not working exactly made me realize and made me grow up. And not get upset and angry with others, example critics. But look within myself as a person, okay, what is it that has irked them off in the first place that no other filmmaker has a distinction which I have, that my films don't get reviewed by them, I get reviewed. Are you understanding?
Correct.
कि यार फिल्म इसकी अच्छी हो या ना हो वो दूसरा बात है. हमको ये पसंद नहीं है तो हम इसकी फिल्म को हाफ स्टार देंगे. Are you understanding?
No, absolutely.
So I'm not making a genuine effort कि नहीं मुझे पसंद करो, मैं बहुत अच्छा नहीं, I'm not making that. But yes, I have done a lot of growing up and I have understood it's better to be quiet and be a little more diplomatic and politically correct and be a little more mature in the way you talk rather than shoot your mouth off just for attention.
Within the industry, there are many people who just bitch about critics and media and everyone in general. But when they actually meet them, they are like very very sweet and they are extremely like.
But यार वो तो
यार. लेकिन आपने शायद कभी वो उस तरीके से नहीं किया. आपके जो दिल में था आपने हमेशा आपने एक्सप्रेस किया.
मैं खुद एक क्रिटिक हूँ ना यार. मैं खुद एक क्रिटिक हूँ. 15 साल तक टेलीविजन पे मैं खुद दूसरों की फिल्मों का मजाक उड़ाता था. आई यूज्ड टू डू इट बेसिकली क्योंकि यार मुझे पैसे मिलते थे. मुझे होस्ट एंड दोस्त का टैग था, एंटरटेनर था. हर एक गाने के साथ, हर एक फिल्म के साथ एक कुछ ना कुछ फनी लाइन बोलनी है तो बोल देता था मैं. 20, 21, 22 ईयर ओल्ड, कुछ अक्कल नहीं, काम करते जाओ काम कर. I was getting negative within the film industry. Believe me when I'm saying this. There were letters being sent by some producers. Couple of actors refused to work, come on my show for interviews. Couple of directors and producers, production houses used to send letters saying that if we will not send film clips and films to this channel if it shows this person's show.
Correct.
So I was तभी का AIB seriously on TV.
Right.
It was Sajid Nadiadwala who made me a filmmaker. Ram Gopal Verma gave me a break to make that short film which I did in 2003.
Correct.
But Sajid Nadiadwala, who was my best friend, he backed me up to make like a big film. Hey Baby was not a small film by any means of standards for a new director. And somewhere the film worked, it became a hit, got followed by Houseful 2.
Does it bother you that there's a hell lot of criticism for Humshakals, but the fact is that it has recovered its money somewhere? So people
don't want to see that aspect.
Want to see that.
And it did 65 crores in India. Had it done say 10 to 15 crores more, it would have done 75, 80, the business of other many films, you know. And it would have, people have said, okay, it's above average film. 65 crores is not a small amount. I don't want to make comparisons. But I guess somewhere people have not liked the film. I think kids have liked the film a lot, you know. General families have liked it. The youth has not liked it. I know for a fact. Youth did not like Himmatwala. It was not based for the youth. Himmatwala was based for the masses.
Right.
The masses liked Himmatwala, single screens. But the single screens collections weren't enough to match up to what could be called a hit film. In Humshakals, I think the youth disconnected from the film because one, I don't think it was my best film. I think, personally, I feel it was my funniest film. But I think kids liked it most. So the attempt has been from the last 1 year to write a screenplay which is again universally liked by everyone and to stay away from slapstick comedy.
There have been a marked difference in your approach, the way you've been approaching almost everything in general, the way you've come back on Twitter and the way the entire approach has been.
Come back nahi yaar. I was on Twitter in 2010. From January till April 31st.
Correct.
रितेश और करण बैठे थे मेरे साथ, आजा फिल्म की प्रमोशन होगी. तो मैं सिर्फ फिल्म की प्रमोशन करता था. हाउसफुल 1.
Right.
हाउसफुल 1 रिलीज हुई अप्रैल 31st को 2010 में और मैंने वहाँ पे लिख दिया था कि दिस इज माय लास्ट ट्वीट, सी यू गाइस, थैंक यू वेरी मच. फिल्म मैं खाली प्रमोशनल रीजंस की वजह से आया था.
Right.
इस बार मैं पर्सनल रीजंस की वजह से आया. एक एजेंसी है जिन्होंने मुझे बोला
you mentioned that
you must come on Twitter. He says people write things about you without knowing you, and they write things about you in such vehement manners that they all make you out to be like a criminal, which I'm not. I can be called a criminal for bad clothes or bad hairstyle, but Twitter gives me that platform to voice my own opinion and probably tell you the truth in such a way that you might believe it, because I think The truth in the film industry, just like politics, is most of the times manufactured.
No, absolutely.
It is manufactured to make you feel good about me.
Apart from the fact that there have been certain critics who have said stuff, the fact is there have been people from within the industry, and you know many a times जो एक होता है कि that कुएं का मेंढक जिस तरीके से खींचने की कोशिश की जाती है, there are many people from within the industry who love to see people not doing well, and
But
it happens.
that's okay.
And but the fact is that you coming on Twitter, it has somewhere closed a lot of mouths because they know that he's there to be seen now. He's
Maybe, but
expressing,
it's not that.
and most importantly, he's enjoying himself.
Hey, I've never understood which filmmaker has not given flops. Tell me that, na? Arey, just because your film flops doesn't mean you flopped. Tomorrow, if BollywoodHungama's ratings go down, doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job. So, if a film doesn't do well, how can it be that you're not doing well? You are not known by the film, na? You are known by the person that you are. Now I'll start my own TV show. I've got my own TV show coming up. It's called Simply Sajid.
Comedy Nights with Kapil, the episode has been loved unanimously. People have really.
But highlight मैं बोलता हूँ देखो. I know for a fact that it has been loved. But there are still a couple of अभी छोड़ना. There's a couple of people who've written write-ups as to how Arshad Barsi and Sajid Khan brought the show down in separate episodes. So Kapil has been rushed back in. That's untrue.
No, but Kapil, you know,
That's completely untrue.
he was
It
never
was always his show.
You know, the best part is he was never injured or anything of that sort. He was there in US. He was doing
No,
shows.
he had a back issue.
But he was also in US doing shows.
I met Kapil, Baba. I met him in his office before doing the show. And I wanted to clarify with him that I'm doing only one episode with him.
Right.
And he bhai, kar do bhai, tum to yaar, bhai, tum ho. But his back was really screwed. I know that for a fact. And I also know that Kapil had to go to US because of the commitment. Had it been up to him, he would have not travelled with that back. I saw him.
Achha.
He was getting back treatment when I walked into the office.
Must have been.
Yeah.
Must have been. Many are thanking Sajid Khan for the fact that he has ensured that Rishi Kapoor stays on Twitter.
I'm thanking
people are
Chintu ji.
discovering so many aspects of his personality. I think primarily because of the fact that you've convinced him to stay back.
Chintu ji, I wouldn't say that Chintu ji is my friend. Dabu ji is my friend.
Okay.
But Chintu ji is almost like a friend. You know, he's way elder than me and he's someone I've worked with and I respect a lot. And we have a lot of laughs together whenever we meet or whenever we talk on the phone. And I enjoy him on Twitter just like most other people. See, Chintu ji, according to me, is the most unabashed person. You know, there is no malice in his heart. There is no lying or there's no politics that he has or any substance in his heart which he wants to hold back and मैं ये बोलूँगा तो ये इसका effect ऐसा हो जाए. No, he's a very clean man. तो उनकी भाषा अगर आपको थोड़ी बुरी भी लगती है, थोड़ी harsh भी लगती है, it's okay. What's the big deal? He's not ridiculing anybody. He's not making fun of anybody. He's speaking the way it is. And he's very funny. So when he wrote that message that I'm quitting Twitter and I've taken it from the trolls and I can't take it anymore, I called him up. I even put up a tweet. I said, Chintu ji, don't go. And I am a big fan. I love him on Twitter. So I only did. He said, आ रहा हूँ तो तेरे भरोसे आ रहा हूँ तो यार वो लोग ऊट पटांग चीजें लिखते हैं तो I said आप पढ़ो मत. He said पढ़ूँ कैसे नहीं मैं? I said मत पढ़ो. I said मैं भी नहीं पढ़ता हूँ. बहुत लोग नहीं पढ़ते हैं. I said आप जब कोई पढ़ता है तो उनको पढ़ती है. I said मत पढ़ो.
Right.
I said आप अपने views देने आए हो कि दो लोगों के views लेने आए हो? तो he was very happy that I tried to convince him and he got convinced and I was very happy that he got convinced.
I think what he has written about Radhe Ma recently and the entire all these expressing views, and you've always been known for expressing your views many a times.
No, but
I
never.
think,
I'll tell you strangely, never spoken in my entire career. I've never spoken about people's personal lives, religion, God, goddesses, politics. I've stayed away from it. I have only had fun speaking about people's films or the business of films or a particular ham scene or कौन सा गाना कहाँ से चोरी किया गया है. I've only done that. Just go through my entire career. I have never ever personally spoken about people's personal lives or like what I said, gods, goddesses, religion, Hindu, Muslim. I've never done that. I can't because I don't relate to that. I have my own personal opinions and personal views, and I respect everyone's religion. And I don't talk about any kind of controversies. You'll always see my tweets will never be anything controversial.
you're someone who has opinions, and they are wonderful. Many would I just agree with that. So how do you react to the entire censorship issues that are taking place right now? Many people from within the industry, they're quite harassed actually. That
I'm the last person to talk about it because all 5 films of mine have been passed without any cuts. My films don't have bloodshed, they don't have violence, they don't have any sort of cuss words, they don't have profanity, they don't have any sex. But I can understand things from other people's point of views also, that why is this whole sense of Talibanism coming in? Correct. I can understand that also. The censor is also aware कि जो हम कर रहे हैं वो गलत है, लेकिन ऊपर से फोन कॉल आया उनको भी ऊपर से फोन कॉल आया. Understand what I'm saying?
जी जी बिल्कुल.
They're very normal people. They're not backward people. The censor, the board of censors, all the people are like you and me. They're very normal. They know कि कुत्ता कमीना कैसे गाली हो सकता है. डॉग को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं?
कुत्ता बोलते हैं.
तो आप कुत्ता वर्ड कैसे निकाल सकते हो पिक्चर से? धर्मेंद्र का फिल्म कुत्ते तेरा खून पी जाऊंगा, या बसंती इन कुत्तों के सामने मत नाचना, अभी सेंसर बोलता है कि निकाल दो. हर फिल्म मेकर को पता है कि मैं अगर इतना डालूंगा तो उसमें से इतना कटने वाला है, और जितना कटने वाला है तो जितना रह जाएगा मेरी पिक्चर एडल्ट हो जाएगी. अच्छा, मेरी पिक्चर अगर एडल्ट हो गई है तो ठीक है, मैं फिर से रीसेंसर करके काट फूट के सैटेलाइट पे दे दूंगा. अब उनका नया रूल आ गया है कि सैटेलाइट पे आप जैसा सेंसर सर्टिफिकेट आपको थिएटर के लिए मिला है वैसे ही सैटेलाइट के लिए मिलेगा. तो दैट्स रॉन्ग ना. बिगेस्ट एग्जांपल हैपेंड इन 85 in Hollywood, when the most anticipated film, which was a huge flop, and critics had written the film off saying that the whole screenplay was only finding new bad words. The F word comes more than 240 times in that film. Scarface.
Right.
Can you believe Scarface had to be recensored completely to be shown on TV? But they did it in such a way that the film did not look offensive. So there are so many movies which get recensored for television. जो थिएटर में आपको ऑब्जेक्शनेबल लगता है क्योंकि एडल्ट्स है, वो टीवी पे वो काट देते हैं. अब सेंसर बोला कि ये भी मत काटो. तो आई थिंक ये थोड़ी सी जाती है मेरे हिसाब से.
एक लिस्ट आई है वर्ड्स की, और फिर उसके बाद फिर ये हुआ कि शायद वो अभी लिस्ट नहीं होगी. जो मिनिस्टर है इंफॉर्मेशन ब्रॉडकास्टिंग के, ही हैज़ सर्टन व्यू पॉइंट, ही इज सेइंग सर्टन थिंग्स दैट आइडली इनफैक्ट सिर्फ रेटिंग्स बोर्ड होना चाहिए, सेंसर बोर्ड होना ही नहीं चाहिए. But Pehlad Jilani Saab, he has his own viewpoint somewhere.
Pehlad Jilani Saab is a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that he is one person who's always stood up for the film industry. I'm telling you this. Every time a mudda of the film industry used to come up, it was Pehlad Jilani Saab who was the go-to man. Trust me, he used to be doing the maximum running around doing things for other people. So he's a very intelligent man. He also is under pressure. I know this for a fact. Otherwise, Pehlad ji, अरे पहला जी आई डोंट थिंक विल मेक अ रूल जो बोलेगा कि कुत्ता नहीं बोल सकते, कमीने नहीं बोल सकते, यू नो. अरे ये तो नॉर्मल हमारी, मैं नहीं बोला कि हमारी सभ्यता है, बट ये तो नॉर्मल बच्चा भाषा.
बट यू नो समवेयर डोंट यू फील दैट समवेयर वी आर एक्चुअली जस्ट going downhill somewhere. It is becoming more and more regressive. I still remember, I'm sure that आपको भी याद होगा, मतलब in mid 80s and all that.
I don't think we are regressing.
You know, I'm giving an example. They used to be like an adult film night, अगर आपको याद हो तो. आज से 30 years पहले वो सब चीज़ें मुमकिन थी. अभी टेलीविजन तो छोड़िए, बड़े स्क्रीन पे जो हैं वो इतने रिस्ट्रिक्शंस उसमें आना शुरू हो गए.
I think ये सिगरेट स्मोकिंग पर्दे पे नहीं दिखा सकते हैं. कल ये लोग बोलेंगे कि आप बिकिनी नहीं दिखा सकते हो.
एग्जैक्टली.
स्विमिंग के टाइम पे. फिर ये बोलेंगे कि आप एक्शन नहीं दिखा सकते हो, जानवर नहीं दिखा सकते हो. अच्छा, जानवर के कोई भी शॉट आते तो आपको डालना पड़ता है CGI किया गया है.
करेक्ट.
अरे क्यों CGI किया गया है? अरे स्टार्टिंग में आपने उनका सर्टिफिकेट लिया है, जानवर एसोसिएशन का सर्टिफिकेट लिया. मेरी हर पिक्चर में जानवर होते हैं. चंकी पांडे भी होता है कभी कभी. चंक्स, डोंट फील बैड चंक्स. क्या है ये कि शेर जम मारा तो नीचे डालना पड़ेगा आपको. यू हैव टू पुट अ लोगो दैट दिस वाज
यू डन हिम्मत वाला.
डिजिटली डन. नो ऑल माय फिल्म्स हैव एनिमल्स एंड आई थिंक किड्स एंजॉय एनिमल्स. क्या जू में भी सेंसरशिप है कि आप टाइगर को उतने दूर से शेर को आप इतने दूर से देख सकते हो, आप हाथी को उतने दूर से देख सकते हो? नहीं ना. अरे नो फिल्म मेकर इज क्रूएल टू एनिमल्स. वो जमाना गया जब घोड़े गिराए जाते थे और हाथी को मारा जाता था और हंटर से मार. वो ऐसा कोई नहीं करता है. आज की डेट में फिल्म यूनिटी नहीं शूट करेगी. चलो, अगर इफ यू आर बैड टू एन एनिमल, वो एनिमल ही आप पे लपक पड़ेगा. नहीं भी लपक पड़ेगा तो इट्स टेकन केयर ऑफ. आई डोंट थिंक वी आर गोइंग रिग्रेसिव. आई थिंक समवेयर इन द मिडल वी वेंट टू फास्ट, टू हेड, सो दैट वी कुड नॉट कंट्रोल इट. नई गाड़ी मिली है ना, तो आपने सरली दबा दिया और 140 की स्पीड पे निकल के क्राउडेड स्ट्रीट पे, लेकिन सेंसर आपको बोल रहा है कि 10 की स्पीड पे चलो तो गाड़ी का फायदा ही नहीं.
You are someone who loves film industry majorly. There are people from within the film industry they love you immensely. When you realize that film industry is one of the biggest reasons why people know India from all across the world. Many places and many youngsters from all across. Considering you are on Twitter, you must be realizing that from all across the world, the remotest of places, there are youngsters who are following Indian cinema right now. When you see that movie stars or movie makers, they in a way treated frivolously and they're not taken serious, like say for example the way it has happened with Salman Khan recently. We're not getting into the politics of it, but still, you know, somewhere the way people things were spoken about Salman, and somewhere it is not really nice. He's someone who's loved immensely by people from all across the world.
Trolling क्या होती है
जी?
तूने भी की है, मैंने भी की है, इसने भी की है, सब करते हैं. अभी नहीं करते, बचपन में किया था, 10 साल की उम्र में किया था, 12 साल की उम्र में किया था, 15 साल की उम्र में किया था, स्कूल में या कॉलेज में या बॉय स्काउट कैंप में जी. मजाक करने के लिए सब ने किसी पे चादर डाल के उसको 10-10 मुक्के मारे थे, और जब चादर हटा तो बोला कौन मारा, तो बोला मैनी. वो भी ट्रोलिंग ही हुई ना. One has to take it with a pinch of salt. One must not let it affect you. If I had let, I'll give you an example. If I had let reviews affect me, I would not have had a career on television, leave alone films. My first show which I did was called Maybe Detective, which I will not name the reviewer. The reviewer later became a filmmaker. He used to write for a tabloid. 6 weeks in a row on his column, he attacked me. I was nobody then. Attacked me by saying that this is the most nonsensical thing on television, this is the most obscene person on television, have this person banned. He hurts the sensibilities of television viewers. I'm talking about 94, 95. My mother had gone into depression as to, have I hurt this person? Have I made fun of this person? Which I did eventually at an award function. It doesn't make much of a difference. One has to take the trolls also with a certain degree of don't pay attention. It's that, you know. But having said that, trolls also must realize what to say and what not to say. If you want to say something pertaining to somebody's films, I saw Mission Impossible. So I tweeted that, you know, my PVR, you know, your exit lights, they are so bright that it throws a reflection on the screen and suddenly the whole screen becomes sepia tone. You know that? Huh? So please pay attention PVR. So somebody wrote back to me, yeah, but when I was watching Humshakals, I was watching the exit lights. You understand? उसका क्या लेना देना है? मैं भी हंसने लगा. जो पब्लिक प्यार करती है ना, कहीं ना कहीं वो पब्लिक को आपको गुस्सा होने का, आपसे नाराज होने का भी उतना ही हक है. तो प्रयास हमेशा यही रहना चाहिए और झपका ही रहता है ये कि नॉर्मल पीपल लाइक यू, नॉट डिसलाइक यू. But if everybody likes you and nobody dislikes you, then you become God.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is never the case. Where there is like, there will always be dislike. Just like when we have the comments on this, you see the likes will be 2 or 3, the dislikes will be 3,000-4,000.
I think you also have this unique ability to just laugh at yourself. I think for Comedy Night with Kapil, you told someone that आपको नींद नहीं आती है, आप हिम्मत वाला देखिए. So that is something which not too many people will have. People tend to take themselves very seriously. So how important do you think is it? But I would have said that had himmat wala been a hit also.
I've made fun of Hey Baby and Houseful also. Right. I've always made fun of my own self, and I feel कि अगर आपको किसी और की टांग खींचने का है तो सबसे पहले अपनी टांग खींचो. And that is something I've been following all my life on television or in live shows, while hosting award functions. I always make fun of myself first, you know. And what's wrong with that? And then people, I think somewhere they like you also a little bit more for that. This guy can have the ability to laugh at himself. In the middle, I'd lost that ability, Faridun. I'll be very honest with you. With the success of 3 back-to-back films and the respect not coming my way, success coming, respect not coming, I stopped laughing. I lost my sense of humor. I was making funny films, but I was not being funny in real life. When the dhulatti of himmat wala fell on my head, dhadam, that's the time I realized that it's okay, laugh at yourself, yaar. Big deal, yaar. Where were you, Sajid Khan? Where were you all these years? Yaar? Filmmaker ban gaya, bada aadmi ban gaya. Respect me, yaar. People will never respect you. the kind of cinema that I make or 2-3 other directors make, they'll never respect us. They can love us, but they cannot respect us. You understand me? Respect will go to Rajkumar Hirani. It'll go to Kabir Khan after Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Respect will go to these filmmakers. They make respectful. We make mass entertainers. So somewhere when you do that, respect can never be there. Love can be there. Popularity can be there. So I was searching for gold in a coal mine. That's what I was doing. You got your headline.
When are you writing your book? I think because I've always felt that, and especially after your column.
No, it's too early for me to write a book. I'm 43 now. I'm going to turn 44 in November. I think I should write my book on my deathbed, which will be in 3 years. No, that's a joke. 2 years? Happy? No, I'm kidding.
No, but the way Twinkle is coming out with
Twinkle is
with
very funny,
book,
but she's a very funny person.
with the columns, it's
But
coming
she's
out.
super intelligent.
Right.
I'm not super intelligent. I'm not even half a good speaker as I make myself out to be. I think the only thing which I'm very good at is being blatantly honest and sometimes putting my foot in my mouth, which used to be very often earlier, and now because I've retracted and because I've become more and more reclusive, I don't open up. Yeah, but the day I write a book about my life, it's got superb chapters. Superb chapters. I mean, right from David Dhawan to Rohit Shetty to Farah Khan to Rajkumar Hirani will all take one scene and put it somewhere in there. They can use one scene in their film. बहुत मजेदार है.
Okay, talking about your life story, many people don't know much about your father, Mr. Kamran Khan. He was an actor and
He's an actor, producer, filmmaker in
Right.
the 60s and the 50s.
Right. What is it that you learned from your father? Rishi ji, I think, has worked with your father.
Yes, Chintu ji has worked with him. My dad was the main villain. Little more popular film was Rafu Chakkar. He was the main villain in that.
Right.
In Rafu Chakkar. The one thing that, see, my father was a drinker. In his bad times, he took to drinking, and his untimely demise happened because of his addiction for drinking. And it was not a good sight to see him pass away.
I've
never touched alcohol in my life.
That's one of
Although
the
this
reasons?
face doesn't tell you something. This face tells you कि यार सुबह 5 बजे तक पी रहे थे और फिर 12 बजे सोए बाबूजी और उठे 4 बजे. नहीं, ये फेस इसलिए क्योंकि वाटर रिटेंशन है. वाटर रिटेंशन इसलिए है क्योंकि मैं पानी बहुत कम पीता हूँ. पानी इसलिए कम पीता हूँ मैं क्योंकि मैं रेड बुल बहुत पीता हूँ. सीरियसली रेड बुल इसलिए पीता हूँ ताकि तेरे इंटरव्यू का मैं सामना कर सकूँ.
Okay, but tell us something more about your father, because somewhere both you and Farhad, the way you've experienced life, I think one can definitely, I think, make a movie on that as well, because it's been a tough life.
I don't think how many people would want to see
In fact,
that,
I think
that kind of a
you've
movie.
been background dancer along with Arshad Varsi in one of the movies.
Yes,
I spoke to Arshad.
I put it on Twitter.
A few days back.
On Twitter, yeah.
A few days back, we were speaking to Arshad Varsi.
Yeah.
And
I put
we
it
saw
on
that
Twitter,
that
आज से
clip as well.
खेलेंगे, आज
Yeah,
से खेलेंगे.
correct.
500 रुपए मिले थे हम लोग को. कोऑर्डिनेटर 100 रुपए ले गया था. 400 रुपए मिले थे और वो 400 रुपए जब मेरे को मिले थे ना दोस्तों, I had gone mad. फरीदून, I had gone mad के 400 रुपए मैं पागल हो गया. The first thing I did, I went and bought ration for my house for $350 and $50 I splurged. I splurged $50. You have no idea what 50 rupees could do for you then. I saw 7 to 8 movies. 4 रुपए की तो टिकट आती थी. I'm talking 89, 90 अभी. ऐसा नहीं कि
Right.
30 साल पहले. हाँ, एक्चुअली 30 साल पहले ही हो गया है.
What is it that you've learned from that experience? That the lack of money has taught you a lot to both you and Farhad?
That's what I said. Na, कि the one thing that has stayed constant with me after my father's demise, although I can't say that I was very close to my father, I can't say I was very away from my father because I come from a broken home. So me and Farah were shifted between houses, between mother and father, time to time. So we were close to both. But at the same time, not very close to both. Now I'm, of course, very close to my mum. She lives with me. What it did teach me then is that you should not get too carried away with success. Because my father got carried away with success. Understand one thing. Sajid Khan ये बात बोल रहा है, don't get carried away. अरे, I never got carried away with success. I got carried away with the recognition that didn't come from success. Are you understanding?
Right.
And one should not get depressed with failure because success and failure are part of everyone's lives.
Right.
And everyone is going to go through a good time, which will be short-lived, and a bad time, जो अपना साथी है. So you have to make sure that you are having a good time in your life, irrespective of both those times in your life. Are you understanding?
Absolutely.
I am still the same person that I was earlier. My point of view towards people has changed. The way I interact with people has changed. I have become a little more easier. Earlier, if you would crack a joke on me, I would get offended.
Right.
Today, if you crack a good joke on me, I will get offended that why didn't I crack it first?
Sajid, we've taken a few questions for a rapid fire with you.
Please.
It's like a fun thing, so hopefully you'll enjoy it.
But rapid fire में ये बात करेगा जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं भी rapid fire में बात करूँ.
A Hindi film you recently saw that you loved.
बजरंगी भाईजान.
Salman Khan or Sajid Khan, who will get married first?
I think Salman. I think Salman will get married first.
You think he'll ever get married? Do you think that?
Yeah, I think I missed the boat. Missed the bus, missed the boat. Plane has taken off. Train पटरी पे निकल गई. Whichever other vehicle you want to add.
Imran Khan has married again, yeah. Come on, he's in
Sir, but I'm not, you know, I get scared of
You're
marriage.
43.
I turned 44 in November.
Yeah. So that is, I think, itna ज़्यादा तो नहीं है.
But mentally मेरे सर में है ना, I've been in and out of so many relationships that I've learnt. I was a big dog in my 20s. Yeah. I'm telling you, I was a big, very kamina आदमी. Seriously, in my 20s, I've broken a lot of hearts. I've lied, I've cheated, I've deceived, like most of the guys do. But I was on television, I was getting successful, I was getting brashier. I was treating women very badly. All the nice girls in my life, I've treated them very badly in my 20s. In my 30s, somewhere, I started concentrating on filmmaking.
Right.
So when you start making films, now you don't mentally start getting very attracted to women. Doesn't mean that you get attracted to men. But you only start thinking your film. It becomes like a big responsibility, and I'm sure every normal filmmaker will agree with me. Now, I think in my 40s, I'm very happy the way I am. But don't you miss someone? No, I don't. Because the very person that you miss in your life to fill in the void is the person that you want to miss after 3 months. कि यार कब जाएगी?
No, but you love kids actually.
I love kids, but that's the whole issue ना यार. Farah has 3 kids. I love them to death. I spend all my time with them. I babysit them. I play with them. They love me. So for me, that parental feeling of fatherhood is complete. I have 3 kids. I love them. So यार वंश कौन चलाएगा? मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं ना, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ. And not only that, there's a girl on my second floor. I'm very fond of her. She's a 6-year-old girl. You know. So I talk to her. I love kids. Somewhere that has stayed back in my mind when I make films. कि यार no scene should offend a child. No scene should pass a bad message to a child, you know, कि बच्चे देखेंगे. That's why the safest thing to do is to put on a Sajid Khan film for kids. And like Humshakals is really loved by kids. A lot of parents out there, young parents in their 30s, will agree that their 4-5-year-old love Humshakals. But that's not saying much because, you know, kids really, 4-5-year-old kids don't have taste of good cinema. If they did, they would not like Humshakals.
Weirdest marriage proposal you have ever received?
थे 2-3 थे. I was very close to getting married. Not to the girls I was in love with, but I was almost close to getting arranged marriage about 15-16 years ago. I met the parents also. It was like my auntie and my uncle had set up a meeting, and I travelled out of the city also. I'll not name which. With my uncle, my mom's brother. Let's get married. Because I just had a breakup. The girl told me something which scared me. I told her, which is your favorite film? She said, whichever film you like to watch. I said, Nani, you must be having a favorite. She said, no, whichever film is your favorite film will become my favorite film. I said, fantastic. This is like a dream. I said, which is your favorite food? She said, what is your favorite food? I said, but don't rut out what is my... I said, I'm asking you your views. Don't you have your likes and dislikes? She says, no. I will only like what you like and I will only dislike what you dislike. I know 7 out of 10 men who would have gone ahead and gotten married. This is the best wife a person can have. कि घर पे बैठो वही करो जो मैं बोलूँगा. तू जो कहे हाँ तो हाँ, तू जो कहे ना तो ना. मैं भाग गया. Because I would rather be with someone who has not just a mind of her own, but a career of her own. Absolutely. I would rather be with someone who will fight with me, who will tell me, listen boss, you're wrong, the script is bad, or the scene is very good and today I'm very proud of you, or own opinions, you know. So marriage is not the case.
Let's talk about some lighter stuff. 3 tips on how to woo a girl.
Don't send emojis. Don't send text messages with shero shairi. Don't introduce her to your friends by saying, I want you to meet my next ex-girlfriend. Don't do all that. I think they say that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. The way through a woman's heart is through laughter. If you can make a woman laugh, if you can make her enjoy, if you can make her feel protected and secure, then 9 out of 10 times she will be yours. But you have to be a gentleman. I think that's one way of making a woman feel good. You have to give her a certain degree of protection, and just make sure that the very thin line between being caring and possessive, which is often very misunderstood.
Absolutely, absolutely. 3 things that one should not do on a date.
In my case, one thing I should not do is turn up. 2, turn up and turn up. Those are the 3 things. No, I'm kidding. 3 things one should not do on a date is expect any kind of physical proximity on a date. You do that, and somewhere I feel the girl will not only get pissed off with you, but I think she'll not trust you. I think, see, today's 18-year-old is as matured and as world-wise as perhaps 20 साल पहले का 25-year-old.
Absolutely.
You know, the world is getting smaller, but the mind is getting bigger. So, today's girls also know when a guy is telling the truth and when he's not telling the truth. Some of them fall for it. I would request all the girls not to fall for certain things which guys sell, because guys like to present themselves as the nicest people. But somewhere, I believe, always go with your gut feeling. If your gut tells you it's a nice guy, 9 out of 10 times he will turn out to be a nice guy. If your gut tells you, boss, kuch gadbad hai, bhag jao wahan se. That's what I feel.
No, absolutely. Gut feeling is definitely. Brief advice you'd like to give to following people.
मैं क्या advice दूंगा यार?
Generally. Say for example for KRK, what is it that you'd like to advise him?
I can't advise anybody here. I mean, I think each person somewhere knows what they are doing is right, what they are doing is wrong, what is good for them, what is bad for them. So each person takes that decision. I cannot give advice to somebody because I am not some kind of a society leader, you know. But
अच्छा, generally अगर आप funny way में अगर आप करना चाहें, say for example अक्षय कुमार, चलिए, if you have to do Akshay Kumar, what is it that you'd like to tell him?
Nothing that I can tell Akshay Kumar. Just keep doing what you're doing, because I love Akshay to death. He's like an elder brother, and we are very close. And that's it. Yeah, I could tell him one thing, that he has a rule that he doesn't shoot more than 8 hours. So certain filmmakers, including me, we have to keep adjusting time. So for Akshay, sometimes for certain filmmakers go 9-10 hours also. No? Sometimes.
Shah Rukh Khan.
What can one tell Shah Rukh Khan? What can one tell Shah Rukh Khan?
You've known Shah Rukh for a long time.
Yeah, and Shah Rukh is the guy who can give advice to the whole world. I can't give any advice to Shah Rukh. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're the best at it.
Okay, and Pehlaj Nilani.
Sir, Pehlaj ji, मेरी फिल्मों से आपको आई थिंक कभी कोई इशू आएगा नहीं, लेकिन जिस तरह से अभी दृष्टिकोण है सेंसर्स का, शायद मेरी फिल्मों से भी आ जाए, जो स्वच्छ क्लीन फिल्में होती है, शायद सूरज बरजाते की फिल्मों से भी प्रॉब्लम आ जाए. आप इंडस्ट्री वाले हो सर, एंड यू नो द बेसिक प्रॉब्लम्स. यू बीन अ प्रोड्यूसर योरसेल्फ. You know, you've had so many hits in your career. You've had films which have worked, which have not worked. You've seen the hardships. You've been a distributor, and you've been a fellow co-worker of the film industry. I know this. I said this earlier, that people come to you and they don't go away empty-handed, because you always help them in any sort of film-related problem. This is such a big issue, sir. Such a big issue. You should do something about it, Pehlaj ji. Seriously, humble request, Pehlaj ji. Please do something about it.
Would you like to get roasted, as in like AIB knockout, and why?
I don't think it's such a bad idea. I think I'm one of those few people, I've been told, who has the ability to laugh at himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if the money is right, why not? But there has to be money. There has to be a price. There has to be a price. अगर भांड मिरासी वही करते हैं कि आपको तमाशा चाहिए, हम तमाशा करेंगे, लेकिन पैसा तो दो.
But you're open to it.
If the money is right.
If the money is right,
yeah.
Who's the funniest person that you've ever come across?
One of the funniest people I've met in my entire life, who really makes me laugh, is someone which no one will believe is very funny, Sajid, my best friend.
Right.
And someone who I had a fallout with for almost a year and a half, and I think that was in my 43 years, the darkest period in my life, perhaps his also, because we were thicker than brothers, and I'm so happy that we've come back together. not just as brother, someone I love very much. And he is by far the funniest person I've met in my life. And that's probably the reason why I became so close friends with him 17 years ago. Because मेरा काम था मैं दुनिया को हंसाता था, साजिद मुझे हंसाता था. He is very funny.
Yeah, he is.
He's very funny.
A very nice guy as well.
He's a fantastic
very
guy.
nice guy.
So he is the funniest guy I've met in my life.
Are you missing the fact that you're not directing Houseful 3 because it's been your baby?
I'm missing the fact that I'm not going to be with the boys, you know. But I'm sure there'll be Houseful 4, which I will not let anyone else direct it. I will only direct it. Sajid and I have spoken about making a film next year.
Right.
My film with Disney happens early next year. After that, I'll make a film for Sajid Nadiadwala. So let's see. And more than anything else, see, at the end of the day, working as professionals is aside. What we really missed was bantering with each other on the phone. You understanding? And that somewhere has been the most fulfilling part. I'll be very honest with you. When all the negativity of Humshakals was coming my way, it should have come, I think, for 2 weeks. Film release होती 2 हफ्ते होते ना. 3 weeks. Negativity. Humshakals negativity carried on for 3 months after the release. Without reason, stories were being written about me, linking me with certain people and actresses and things. And I'm keeping quiet. I'm not even on Twitter then. I'm talking about July, August, September last year.
Correct.
I'm keeping quiet. Faridun, I'm keeping quiet. Negativities are being written about me. कि जिसको देखो कुछ ना कुछ बोल रहा है. You know, it's become like a national joke. And then when Nadiad and I connected, I call him Nadiad. Nadiad and I connected. Somewhere that negativity which was there, which was prevalent, you know, I stopped looking at it because I was laughing in the evenings, talking to him on the phone. Are you understanding? Earlier, what would have happened had Humshakals been my first film? I would have said, oh, now I'm going to show all these bloody, I'm going to punch them and I'll show them. I don't want to do that anymore. I had said this earlier also, I had said it in the interview before Humshakals also, irrespective of Humshakals' fate, I will not be negative ever again because I've been through that in my 20s and 30s. I don't want, I'm in a very happy place in my life. And what's wrong here?
No, absolutely. In fact, Sajid bhai has, I've interviewed him and he has said wonderful things to say about you as well. That, in fact, seriously wonderful things. So I think
but
many times the rumors have been.
He better say wonderful things about me and I better say wonderful things about him. And even when we were cutty with each other, we never spoke negative about each other. See, that is I think the true litmus test of friendship. कि आपको भी पता है और मुझे भी पता है कि यार 17 साल की दोस्ती है, एंड में दिलीप कुमार राजकुमार को इमली का बूटा करके आना ही है, सीरियसली आना ही है. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? बट जब तक नहीं आएंगे हम नेगेटिव बात नहीं करेंगे, नेगेटिव बात नहीं करेंगे. और हमारे बीच के दोस्तों को प्रॉब्लम आता था. हमारे बीच के दोस्त जो हमारे कॉमन दोस्त थे वो एक दिन का डिनर मेरे लिए रखते थे, एक दिन का डिनर इसके लिए रखते थे, क्योंकि अगर उसको बुलाएंगे तो मैं नहीं आऊंगा, अगर मुझे बुलाएंगे तो वो नहीं. ये तब चल रहा था. सो वी लाफ अबाउट दैट ऑल्सो नाउ. And I'm happy that we fought for a year and a half and we fell off and we've come back together because today we value each other far more.
Absolutely,
than what we were.
as people actually.
Yes.
Okay, now you've said that the next film that you're making, this is for the first time that you've taken 1 year for writing a script.
More than a year.
A
year. Almost a year now. Yeah, we'll complete a year.
So that is with Disney.
That is with Disney. That is with Disney. And the casting of that film should happen in the next 3 to 4 months, and that film should go on floors early next year. It is not a comedy. It's a remake of a Korean film. My girlfriend is an agent.
Right.
And I've got some of the best screenplay writers. You know what I felt was missing in Himmatwala and Humshakals was good writing. I felt good writing was missing somewhere. A good plot point or a good script was missing. So I've worked very hard on getting a good script because I think a good script basically is your main course. Then how you serve it out is what the director has to do. So I've got a damn good script this time. And
who's written the script for you?
It's a remake, and we've officially taken a remake. We've changed the second
Screenplay,
half. I've got Akarsh Khurana on board. I've got Hussain Dalal on board. Hussain Dalal is the dialogue writer of Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, Two States.
Right.
You know. So I've got very good writers this time. We spent a lot of time to and fro, changing, rewriting, 6 draft, 7 draft, 8 draft, 9 draft, 10 draft. This is, I think, the 12th or 13th draft which we finally got. It's a good script. It's a very interesting script, and it's very unlike a Sajid Khan film. There are no slapstick jokes. There's no hamming. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Because you've the film that you did, the short film story that you did for Ram Gopal Verma, That was something totally different from what one would expect
but
from
I
Sajid
see,
Khan.
like I said, I chose to walk on this path. I mean, people expected a complete tomfoolery, stupid film when I made my first film called Hey Baby. Hey Baby turned out to be quite mature in certain scenes, and it had drama, and it had emotions, and it did touch you irrespective of how much you hated me as a host and host at that time. When you saw Hey Baby, you had tears in your eyes.
No, absolutely.
In certain scenes. I guess the measure of a man, especially as a filmmaker, also depends very heavily with the subject that he has got, and what can he do with the subject.
Starcast, what is it that you're looking for?
We've not yet locked. I think Sid and me are meeting, Siddharth Roy Kapoor and me are meeting within this week, and we will take it further from there.
There were rumors that you're looking for like a new Starcast and...
No, that was, no. I never said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody asked me last year कि कौन होगा फिल्म में, तो I said one of the new boys. तो फिर वो negative period चल रहा था ना. Oh, he's going to be working with newcomers. No, I'm not going to be working. I mean, I love newcomers, I respect newcomers, and it's a good thing that newcomers are coming in the film industry. But the subject material of the film is written in such a way that it has to be one of
new
the
boys like Varun Dhawan or
That's
Siddharth Malhotra.
one of the new boys. I
Right.
never said newcomers.
Okay, like
People
that.
said newcomer. अच्छा मैं Twitter पे था नहीं.
So is it Varun Dhawan?
No, it's कुछ लॉक नहीं हुआ है अभी. कुछ लॉक नहीं हुआ है. ये फरीदोन आ गया है. टोपी पहन के अगाथा क्रिस्टी की मिस्ट्री. अरे लॉक हो जाएगा सबसे पहले ट्विटर पे आ जाएगा ना. मैं खुद ही डालूंगा ना.
बिल्कुल. So Sajid, it was lovely talking to you and huge pleasure to just have you back on Bollywood Hungama. बहुत ज़्यादा आपके, in fact वरुण धवन को मैंने नाम इसलिए लिया because वो बहुत आपके interviews पसंद करते हैं Bollywood Hungama.
I'm very fond of Varun. I'm very fond of Varun. I think he is truly one of the most gifted actors we have, and he's walking on the correct footsteps of stardom.
A very nice boy. Very well brought up boy. I always tell David ji.
Yeah, I think somewhere more than David, I feel it's got to do with Lalima.
Mother.
Yeah,
Right,
she's brought the kids very well.
Even Rohit.
Even Rohit, for that
Rohit,
matter, is a very nice boy. Very nice boy. And I'm closer to Rohit than I'm to Varun. Rohit is I genuinely wanted from my heart. I wanted Desi boys to do well. You know, see when you like somebody, you want their things to work.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure he's making Dishum now, and it's going to be a huge hit.
No, absolutely. So thank you very much, Sajid, and looking
Thank you very
forward
much,
to
Faridun. Thank you
your
very much.
movie and all your future ventures, your columns especially.
Thank you very much. Please read my columns. It's on Wednesday, and that reminds me, I don't get paid for it, but I hope I do.
And your book as well. I think you should write a book at some point of time or the other.
Book nahi yaar. Pehle one thing at a time.
Okay, that's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is Faridun Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.